What's the game plan for Washington tomorrow night? NRG Stadium. We're going to be there. It's going to be an absolute movie. A little bit ago, we actually had the press conference, the final press conference for both Kalen DeBoer and Jim Harbaugh in this very ballroom. But like I said, what's the game plan for Washington to be able to ultimately hoist the hardware tomorrow night when the confetti drops? I think if you're Washington, it starts with starting fast. We'll talk about that here in a second. First things first, though, make sure you subscribe right here to the On3 YouTube channel. We will have an instant reaction for you, regardless of who wins tomorrow night, right here on this channel. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. As I was saying, if you're Washington, it all starts with throwing that first punch. Like the way that I look at this for Washington, it's like a boxing match. And quite frankly, physically, the advantage is for Michigan. Like they have the bigger human beings. They have, over the course of the last several seasons, a better recruiting class. Their average rank is somewhere around 13. Washington's average rank in terms of recruiting classes is right at 36. Now, of course, we're not factoring in the fact that Rome Odunze became an absolute dude and Michael Penix Jr. is in fact him. But with that being said, if you're Washington in this spot, to be able to kind of level the playing field in a boxing match of this sort, you land that first punch on the jaw. And to me, from a game plan perspective, that would be being able to push the ball vertically. Listen, that's who they are. You dance with the one that brung you if you're Washington, and Michael Penix Jr. Allowing him to deal the ball vertical to a Rome Odunze, to a Jalen McMillan, to a Jalen Polk, whoever it ends up being. Connecting on that early and often is going to be crucial for a couple of reasons. One, you score points. Okay, you get a little bit of mojo, get a little bit of rhythm. You put pressure on Michigan to have to match scores. That's massive. That's who you are, and it's going to take championship level accuracy from Michael Penix Jr. in this spot to fit the ball in there. Now, when Washington pushes the ball vertically, one of the ways they're able to do that is by making Michigan defend the entire 53.3 yards of width of the field tomorrow. Okay, so when that happens, it's tough for a safety to help out on Rome Odunze when he's lined up all the way near the sideline. Okay, so when that happens, defenses, and Michigan tomorrow is going to have to start pushing back if they connect on some of those passes, and you have to give a little bit more help to the secondary, to your corners, whoever it ends up being. So when that happens, the second part of this is more dangerous potentially for Michigan in some way, shape, or form, because at that point, there's a lot of green grass underneath. When those linebackers drop deeper, when those safeties drop deeper, you're going to start to see some checkdowns, but it'll be like a 6-7 yard check down to Jack Westover, or hopefully if you're Washington, it'll be Dylan Johnson if he's healthy enough to get rolling tomorrow. And if that happens, and you get the 6 yard check down, it goes for 12 or a first down, that's when things really get dangerous if you're Michigan. Because at that point for Washington, you get to control the tempo of the game if that's the sequence of events. And there's so much made about Washington being this team that wants to push the ball deep and how they're this aerial assault. And that's all 100% true. But the way that Washington has been so dominant these last couple of weeks and really offensively been so dangerous throughout the course of this season, they're controlling the game and controlling the time of possession. Against Oregon and against Texas, they had 36 and 37 minutes respectively in time of possession. And so much is made about, well, you got to make sure if you're Michigan, keep Michael Penix Jr. off the field, make sure he doesn't have the most impact on the game. And I think that's probably a fair thought if you're Michigan, but the same thing can be true for Washington. The advantage offensively in the trenches is absolutely towards Michigan. You don't want your defense to have to stay out there for more than half the game. So if you're Washington, being able to take time off the clock, being able to kind of slowly but surely matriculate the football down the field. Yes, matriculate, new word on the show. Probably the biggest word I know. But with that being said, if you're Michael Penix Jr. and company, being able to dictate terms of this game is massive. For the same reason we just said about Michigan. You allow your best part of your football team and your offensive attack for Washington to have the most impact possible on the outcome of this game. So that's the offensive side of the football. Throw haymakers, connect early, and be able to kind of work the body shots a little bit there underneath with the check down game if you're Kalen DeBoer and company. Now, defensively for Washington, I think this is a 2 bullet point kind of game plan. And the first is, let's attack, man. Let's attack. Like from that second level with those linebackers, let's trigger quickly. Like when we see that guard pull and we see its power, like get there as quick as possible. Get there with bad intentions. Because there's already this thought that Michigan probably is going to win the line of scrimmage. At least again, that's a thought right now on Sunday night before the actual title game. But with what they don't have on the line of scrimmage on that D-line against Michigan. If those linebackers can trigger quickly and force some negative plays, then you force Michigan into a situation where they have to throw the football. Now, that's not saying Michigan can't still win if they're forced to throw, but it does force them to a spot where I think, just transparently, that's their plan B. Michigan wants to be the bully. They want to push you around up front. So if you can force them into 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, that's going to be a good world to live in if you're Washington. Second part of this, though, the second bullet point to the plan, Jabbar Muhammad has to do something to minimize the deep threat of what Michigan has offensively. Because if Michigan gets to be multiple and they can push the ball deep and they can run the football as well, and you're just trying to find a way to hold your water defensively and hoping that your offense scores 40, like that's not going to be a world that you want to live in if you're Washington. So again, the keys to the game: control the tempo, throw the haymakers, be able to get this Michigan defense off balance. In return, if you're Washington's defense, be aggressive. Swing your sword, man, to quote Mike Leach. Swing your sword. This is your spot. Leave nothing out there. Keep Michigan from being multiple. You're going to be in good shape. So we'll have a reaction for you again tomorrow. As soon as it hits triple zeros in Energy Stadium, we will have thoughts for you on the new national champion. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.